we're going to talk about how to speed read cases. In law school, you do not want to read every single word of every single case that you're assigned, or honestly, you're going to get lost in the weeds and you're not going to have time to do the really important things that help you succeed on law school final exams, which is outline, learn your outlines, and take practice exams. So the idea is you don't want to ignore cases either, though. If you ignore cases, you're going to embarrass yourself if you're called on. You're not going to be able to follow along in class. It's going to be harder to learn the material. So you want to spend an appropriate amount of time on cases. And the reason is you want to be able to follow along in class. You want to be able to provide a meaningful response if called on. You want to understand the main point of the case without spending a ton of time on it. The people who spent the most time on cases in my class got B's and C's in law school because they didn't have time to work on outlining, learning their outlines, or memorizing the law. Okay, or taking practice questions. So here's how to speed read cases. First, go to your syllabus and figure out where you are in your syllabus. It'll help you to kind of get a bigger picture of what you're looking at. Are you looking at assault or battery or defenses to intentional torts or whatever? This will just help you understand the principle of what you're probably going to learn. Next, get a case brief and look at that. I used to use case note legal briefs. The key is to get them keyed to your case book. Don't just pick a random contracts one. Get it keyed to the case book you are using. They have already briefed the cases for you. It's a great supplement. And if you can read a case brief ahead of time, then by the time you go to your case book, you already know what's going to happen. So you're kind of skimming the case. You're saving yourself time because you've already been briefed on what the case is about, and now you're just kind of skimming it and book briefing it as you go along. It'll take significantly less time than if you were to read every word of the case and try to figure out what's going on yourself. If you are not going to buy case note legal briefs, or if one doesn't exist for your case book, then you can Google it or find a different supplement that will basically outline what happened in the case for you. After you've read what happened in the case, go to your case book and skim through the case. You can even book brief it as you go along and highlight the rule, the analysis, the holding, so that you know where this is in case you get called on and so that you can follow along better in class. If you do that, then you're going to save yourself a ton of time and you're still going to be able to prepare adequately for class and follow along. So that's what we recommend for speed reading cases in law school. A couple other minor points that I want to point out. Read a case the day that you cover it or the night before, but don't pre-read on the weekends. You're going to forget everything if you try to read all your cases on the weekend for the upcoming week. Do it as close to class as possible, especially if you're using the speed reading method, because then you're not spending as much time with the case. Don't get hung up on every vocabulary word. Don't get hung up on procedural history unless you're in a civil procedure class. It's okay if you don't understand everything that's going on. A lot of the vocabulary is archaic, and some of the facts are probably not that important, so don't worry about it. Some professors might, embarrass someone if they didn't look up a vocab word, whatever. It's not going to help you on your final exam, so I wouldn't recommend you do it. Don't brief cases separately. The idea is to make this more efficient. If you're also writing your case brief, you are spending way too much time on a single case, so do not brief cases separately. Be patient with yourself. This will take you a little longer in the beginning, but you'll get faster at it as you go along. And limit the time you spend reading cases. So when I was in law school, I would every day have a to-do list, and I would start with outlining, learning my outlines, taking practice questions, and then the last thing would be cases, okay? So it was honestly my lowest priority to read cases. And by the time I got there, I usually only have an hour left to study anyway. So it forced me to be efficient and to spend my time on what mattered first. So if you are finding that you're just spending way too much time in your casebook or whatever, limit the time that you actually allow yourself to spend and you will make it efficient. So that is the best way to speed read cases in law school.